Captain Lee Hyun stood at the observation deck of Station Alpha, watching the most beautiful sight he had ever seen. Below him, floating in the darkness of space, dozens of ships took shape in the massive construction bays. But these were not ordinary ships. These vessels looked like nothing the galaxy had ever produced before. Each ship curved and flowed like a work of art. Their hulls gleamed with a silver-blue metal that seemed to shift and breathe in the starlight. Where alien ships looked like boxes with engines attached, these human creations resembled living creatures ready to swim through the void of space. "Captain, you need to see this," called Engineer Park Soo-jin from behind him. She hurried across the deck, her eyes bright with excitement. In her hands, she carried a data pad showing the test results from their newest prototype. Lee Hyun turned to face her. Park Soo-jin was young for such an important position, but her mind worked in ways that amazed everyone around her. While other engineers followed rules and standard designs, she saw possibilities that no one else could imagine. "The Harmony just completed her first full test flight," Park Soo-jin said, barely able to contain her joy. "Captain, she performed beyond every prediction we made. The ship moved like it was alive." Lee Hyun took the data pad and studied the numbers. His eyes widened as he read the results. "These readings cannot be correct. No ship can turn that quickly without tearing itself apart. That is what makes our ships different," Park Soo-jin explained. "We did not build them like the aliens do. Their ships fight against the forces of space. Our ships work with those forces. The Harmony does not just fly through space. She dances with it." The young engineer pulled up a video of the test flight on her pad. Lee Hyun watched in amazement as the sleek vessel moved through a series of maneuvers that should have been impossible. The ship twisted and spun through patterns that would have destroyed any conventional spacecraft. Yet the Harmony moved with perfect grace, as if the laws of physics bent to accommodate her will. "How did you achieve this?" Lee Hyun asked. Park Soo-jin smiled. "I stopped thinking like an engineer and started thinking like an artist. Every line of these ships has a purpose, but that purpose includes beauty as well as function. When form and function become one, amazing things happen. Across the construction yards, workers from dozens of different Earth nations labored together on the fleet. Korean welders worked alongside Brazilian designers. German precision engineers collaborated with Japanese electronics specialists. Nigerian materials scientists shared ideas with Canadian pilots. Humanity's greatest strength had always been its diversity, and now that diversity was creating something unprecedented. Admiral Kim Do-woon entered the observation deck, his face showing both pride and concern. He was an older man who had spent his life preparing for humanity's first steps into the larger galaxy. Now that the moment had arrived, he felt the weight of enormous responsibility. "Captain Lee, Engineer Park." He nodded to both of them. "I have just received word from our deep space monitoring stations. The Confederation has noticed our activities." The Confederation was the loose alliance of alien races that controlled most of the known galaxy. For centuries they had watched Earth from a distance, considering humanity too primitive to be worth their attention. That was about to change. "What kind of response should we expect?" Lee Hyun asked. Admiral Kim Do-woon looked out at the ships under construction. "Intelligence suggests they will send scouts to investigate. They cannot understand how a species they consider backward has suddenly begun producing vessels that outperform their best designs." Park Soo-jin laughed, though there was no humor in the sound. "They think we are backward because we do things differently. Their entire civilization builds everything the same way. Every ship, every station, every piece of technology follows the same basic patterns. They have forgotten how to be creative." She gestured toward the construction bays where the new ships were taking shape. "Look at our fleet. No two vessels are exactly alike. Each ship reflects the personality of its design team and the specific mission it will perform. The aliens build ships like making copies of the same blueprint. We craft each vessel like creating a unique piece of art." Lee Hyun understood what she meant. He had studied alien technology for years before joining the fleet project. Confederation ships were efficient and reliable, but they were also predictable and limited. Human ships were something entirely different. Dr. Choi Mi-young joined them on the observation deck. She was the fleet's expert on alien technology and had spent months analyzing captured Confederation equipment. Her findings had shocked everyone involved in the project. "Admiral, I have completed my analysis of the alien sensor technology," she reported. "The results explain why our ships perform so much better than theirs." "Tell us," Admiral Kim Do-woon said. "The aliens design everything, using computer models and mathematical formulas," Dr. Choi Mi-young explained. "Their approach is logical and systematic, but it is also limited. They can only create what their programs can calculate." She paused and looked out at the human ships. "We design by intuition, as well as calculation. We consider factors that cannot be measured by computers. Beauty, elegance, the way a curve feels right even when mathematics says it should not work. Our ships succeed because they incorporate elements that alien logic cannot understand." Admiral Kim Do-woon nodded slowly. "So our isolation from galactic civilization was actually an advantage. While the aliens all learned to build the same way, we developed our own approach." "Exactly," Park Soo-jin agreed. "And now we have something they have never seen before. Ships that are not just machines, but expressions of human creativity and spirit." Commander Han Ji-ho appeared at the entrance to the observation deck. He was the best pilot in the human fleet, a man whose skills in the cockpit bordered on supernatural. He had just returned from testing one of the new ships, and his face showed the same amazement that had become common among the flight crews. "Admiral, Captain," he saluted. "I need to report something extraordinary. The ship I flew today, she responded to my thoughts before I could touch the controls. It was as if she knew what I wanted to do before I decided to do it myself." Park Soo-jin's eyes lit up with understanding. "The neural interface systems we installed must be more sensitive than we realized. The ship is not just responding to your conscious commands. She is reading your subconscious intentions as well." "Is that possible?" Lee Hyun asked. "With human consciousness, apparently it is," Dr. Choi Mi-young said. "Human thoughts are more complex and intuitive than alien minds. Our ships are designed to work with that complexity, rather than against it." Admiral Kim Do-woon looked out at the growing fleet with new appreciation. Humanity was about to take its first steps onto the galactic stage, and they would do so with vessels that represented the very best of human creativity and innovation. "How long until the first squadron is ready for deep space operations?" he asked. 3 weeks, Park Soo-jin replied. "But Admiral, I recommend we begin with a small demonstration. Let the galaxy see what human engineering can accomplish." Lee Hyun smiled. "I think the galaxy is about to learn that humanity is full of surprises." As the 3 officers watched, another ship emerged from the construction bay, her hull gleaming, like a silver dream against the stars. She was beautiful and deadly, graceful and powerful, a perfect fusion of art and technology that could only have been created by human hands and human minds. The age of human expansion was about to begin, and it would be unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen before. Dr. Choi Mi-young stared at her computer screen in complete disbelief. She had been analyzing alien technology for months, but what she discovered today changed everything she thought she knew about the galaxy. Her hands trembled as she reached for her communication device. "Admiral Kim Do-woon, please come to Lab 7 immediately," she said into the device. "I have made a discovery that will shock you." Within minutes, Admiral Kim Do-woon arrived at the laboratory along with Captain Lee Hyun and Engineer Park Soo-jin. Dr. Choi Mi-young's face was pale, and her usually calm demeanor had been replaced by obvious excitement mixed with concern. "What have you found?" Admiral Kim Do-woon asked. Dr. Choi Mi-young turned her screen toward them. "I have been studying the database we recovered from that Confederation scout ship. What I discovered is almost impossible to believe. Every alien civilization in the galaxy uses the exact same basic designs for everything." She pulled up dozens of ship schematics on her screen. Ships from different alien races, built centuries apart, all looked nearly identical. The same hull, shapes, the same engine configurations, the same weapon placements. "This cannot be correct," Captain Lee Hyun said. "Surely different species would develop different technologies." "That is what I thought too," Dr. Choi Mi-young replied. "But," Look at this. She showed them a massive database filled with millions of technical blueprints. This is called the Galactic Standard Archive. Every member of the Confederation downloads their ship designs from this database. No one creates original designs anymore. Park Soo-jin leaned forward to study the data more closely. They have turned innovation into a dead art. Instead of creating new solutions, they just copy old ones. It gets worse, Dr. Choi Mi-young continued. According to this data, the galaxy has not seen a truly new ship design in over 3,000 years. Every civilization just picks from the same collection of proven patterns. Admiral Kim Do-woon sat down heavily in a nearby chair. So while we were developing in isolation, creating our own unique solutions, the rest of the galaxy was becoming more and more alike. Exactly. Dr. Choi Mi-young nodded. And that is why our ships perform so much better than theirs. We are not constrained by their limitations or their assumptions about what is possible. At that moment, Commander Han Ji-ho burst into the laboratory. His flight suit was still damp with sweat and his eyes were wide with amazement. "Admiral, you need to hear this," he said breathlessly. "I just completed the advanced test flight of the Aurora. Sir, that ship did things that should be impossible." Admiral Kim Do-woon gestured for him to continue. "The Aurora can change shape while flying," Commander Han Ji-ho explained. "Not just small adjustments, but major structural modifications. During combat maneuvers, her wings extended and shifted position. When I needed maximum speed, her hull became more streamlined. It was like flying a living creature instead of a machine." Park Soo-jin smiled with pride. "The shape-shifting capability was one of my favorite innovations. The ship's hull is made from programmable matter that responds to pilot commands and flight conditions. No alien ship has anything like this," Dr. Choi Mi-young added. "Their rigid designs cannot adapt to changing situations." Commander Han Ji-ho continued his report. "But the most amazing thing was the interface system. Admiral, I swear the ship was reading my mind. Before I could even think about what maneuver I wanted to perform, the Aurora was already beginning to execute it." Scientist Yoon Hai-wan entered the laboratory at that moment. She had been working on the neural interface systems that connected human pilots to their ships. Her research had led to breakthroughs that surprised even her. "Commander, Han is correct about the mind-reading capabilities," she said. "Human consciousness operates on multiple levels simultaneously. Our ships are designed to interface with not just conscious thoughts, but also subconscious impulses and intuitive reactions." Admiral Kim Do-woon looked confused. "How is that possible, Yoon?" Hae-won pulled up her research data on another screen. "Human brains process information very differently from alien minds. Most alien species think in linear logical patterns. Humans think in complex, interconnected webs of association and intuition." She pointed to brain scan images showing the difference between human and alien thought patterns. "Our ships are designed to work with human complexity rather than against it. The result is a partnership between pilot and machine that no alien technology can match." Dr. Choi Mi-young added more disturbing news. "I have also discovered that the Confederation has been monitoring our activities more closely than we realized. They have detected energy signatures from our ships that their sensors cannot identify or explain." Captain Lee Hyun frowned. "What kind of response should we expect?" "According to the intelligence data I found, they are sending a full investigation. Fleet to Earth," Dr. Choi Mi-young replied. "They want to understand how we achieve these technological advances." Park Soo-jin laughed, but the sound held no humor. "They want to copy our designs and add them to their standard database. They cannot comprehend that true innovation comes from creativity, not from copying existing patterns." Admiral Kim Do-woon stood up and walked to the laboratory's observation window. Outside, he could see the construction yards where more human ships were taking shape. Each vessel was unique, reflecting the vision and creativity of its design team. "How many ships do they expect to send?" he asked. "At least 50 vessels," Dr. Choi Mi-young replied, "all following standard Confederation designs and tactics." Commander Han Ji-ho grinned. 50 ships built from the same blueprint, flown by pilots trained in identical techniques. They have no idea what they are about to face. Yoon Hai-wan pulled up performance data from the latest test flights. Our ships achieve the same results as theirs while using 60% less energy. They accomplish maneuvers that alien ships cannot even attempt. And they do all of this while being more beautiful than anything the galaxy has produced in millennia. Park Soo-jin looked at the data with satisfaction. Beauty and function are not opposites. When you design something to be truly beautiful, it often becomes more functional as well. The aliens forgot this truth long ago. Dr. Choi Mi-young showed them more intelligence reports. The Confederation leadership is deeply concerned about our technological capabilities. They fear that if other species see what we have accomplished, it might inspire them to abandon the standard designs and begin innovating again. Good, Admiral Kim Do-woon said firmly. The galaxy has been stagnant for too long. It is time for new ideas and fresh approaches. Commander Han Ji-ho reported more test results. Sir, our ships are not just superior in performance. They are superior in ways the aliens cannot even measure. Today, the Aurora solved a navigation problem by using a solution that does not exist in any database. She created a new approach on the spot. How is that possible? Captain Lee Hyun asked. Yoon Hai-won explained. Human ships learn and adapt because they are designed by humans who learn and adapt. Alien ships can only follow their programming because they are designed by minds that follow rigid patterns. Park Soo-jin added, every human ship contains elements that cannot be replicated by copying blueprints. The intuitive decisions, the artistic touches, the creative solutions, these things can only come from human minds working in partnership with human-designed technology. Admiral Kim Do-woon made his decision. Then we will show the Confederation investigation fleet exactly what human creativity can accomplish. Captain Lee, prepare our best pilots and our most advanced ships. Yes, sir, Captain Lee Hyun replied. How many ships should we deploy? Admiral Kim Do-woon smiled. 5 ships should be sufficient. Let them learn that in space, as in all things, quality surpasses quantity. The room fell silent as everyone absorbed the implications. Humanity was about to make its first real contact with galactic civilization, and they would do so from a position of technological superiority that no one had expected. The age of human innovation was about to collide with 3,000 years of alien stagnation. The galaxy would never be the same. Captain Jang Min-ho stood on the bridge of the Starweaver, humanity's most advanced exploration vessel. Today marked a historic moment, the first time a human ship would venture beyond the solar system into the vast unknown of deep space. His crew of 30 specialists represented the best Earth had to offer, and their ship was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. The Starweaver herself was a masterpiece of human engineering. Her hull curved and flowed like a work of living art, shifting between silver and deep blue as the light changed. Unlike the rigid, angular ships of alien design, she seemed to breathe with life and purpose. All systems ready for deep space jump, Captain, reported Navigation Officer Yang Soo-bin. Her voice carried both excitement and nervousness. No human had ever traveled this far from home before. Captain Jang Min-ho looked around his bridge. Every station was occupied by highly trained specialists who had spent years preparing for this moment. Engineer Kim Tae-young monitored the revolutionary engines that would carry them beyond the reach of Earth's protection. Communications Officer Lee Hyo-jin maintained contact with Admiral Kim Do-woon back at Earth Command. Begin the jump sequence, Captain Jang Min-ho ordered. The Starweaver's engines hummed with a sound that no alien ship had ever produced. Instead of the harsh roar of conventional drives, human ships sang as they moved through space. The vessel accelerated smoothly, reality bending around her in ways that defied traditional physics. Within moments, they had traveled farther from Earth than any human in history. The solar system became a distant point of light behind them as they entered the frontier that had called to humanity for generations. Captain, I am detecting something extraordinary, called Science Officer Park Ji-hai from her station. There are structures ahead that do not appear on any Confederation star charts. On the main screen, an ancient installation came into view. The structure was massive, easily the size of a small moon, but it was clearly artificial. Strange geometric patterns covered its surface, and it radiated energy signatures that their sensors had never encountered. The structure appears to be very old, Park Ji-hai reported. Possibly millions of years. But Captain, it is still active. Captain Jang Min-ho made the decision that would change human understanding of the galaxy. Take us closer. We need to investigate this discovery. As the Starweaver approached the ancient structure, something remarkable happened. The alien installation began to respond to their presence. Lights that had been dormant for millennia started to glow. Sections of the structure began to move and reshape themselves. Captain, the structure is trying to communicate with us, Lee Hyo-jin reported from the communication station. I am receiving signals, but they are unlike anything in our databases. Engineer Kim Tae-young made an incredible discovery. Sir, our ship's systems are interfacing with the structure automatically. Whatever built this place, designed it to work, with technology like ours. This was impossible according to everything humanity knew about alien technology. The Confederation races all used the same basic designs, and none of their ships could have activated this ancient installation. How is our technology compatible with something this old? Captain Jang Min-ho asked. Park Ji-hai studied the readings with growing amazement. Captain, I think this structure was built by a civilization that thought like we do. They designed their technology to be intuitive and adaptive rather than rigid and programmed. The implications were staggering. Somewhere in the distant past, another race had developed technology based on creativity and innovation rather than standardized templates, and somehow, humanity had independently rediscovered the same principles. As the Starweaver's systems interfaced with the ancient structure, incredible things began to happen. The ship's hull started to glow with the same energy patterns as the installation. Information flowed between the two technologies as if they had been designed to work together. Are receiving massive amounts of data, Lee Hyo-jin reported. Star charts, technology blueprints, historical records. This structure is like a library containing millions of years of knowledge. Captain Jang Min-ho realized they had stumbled upon something that would revolutionize human understanding of the galaxy. But before they could fully explore this discovery, Navigation Officer Yang Subin detected something alarming. Captain, multiple ships are approaching our position. Configuration matches Confederation fleet patterns. On the view screen, a formation of 50 alien vessels dropped out of hyperspace. These were the investigation ships that Dr. Choi Mi-young had warned them about. Each vessel was identical to the others, built from the same standard blueprint that had been used throughout the galaxy for centuries. The lead Confederation ship opened a communication channel. The voice that came through spoke in the flat, emotionless tone that characterized most alien communication. Human vessel, you are in violation of galactic exploration protocols. You will surrender your ship for inspection and analysis. Captain, Jang Min-ho looked at his crew. Every face showed the same determination. They had not come this far to be stopped by alien bureaucracy. This is Captain Jang Min-ho of the Earth vessel Starweaver. We are conducting peaceful exploration in unclaimed space. We have no intention of surrendering our ship. The alien response was immediate and aggressive. Your ship displays technology that violates galactic standards. You will comply with inspection or face the consequences. Engineer Kim Tae-young made a disturbing discovery. Captain, their weapons are powering up. All 50 ships are preparing to fire. Captain Jang Min-ho made a decision that would echo throughout galactic history. All hands prepare for evasive maneuvers. Show them what human engineering can accomplish. The Starweaver moved like nothing the Confederation fleet had ever encountered. She twisted and spun through space with impossible grace, avoiding their weapons fire while maintaining perfect stability for her crew. The alien ships, built for predictable movements and standard tactics, could not track her erratic flight pattern. But the real shock came when the ancient structure began to respond to the conflict. As the Starweaver danced between enemy fire, the installation's dormant weapon systems came online. Energy beams of incredible power lashed out at the Confederation ships, but they passed harmlessly through the human vessel. The structure recognizes us as allies, Park Ji-hai reported with amazement. It is protecting us while attacking the Confederation fleet. The alien ships found themselves facing technology that was millions of years more advanced than their own. Their standardized weapons and defenses, effective against other Confederation vessels, were useless against the ancient installation's power. Within minutes, half the Confederation fleet was disabled. The remaining ships retreated to a safe distance, their commanders struggling to understand what had happened. "Captain, we are receiving a transmission from the Confederation flagship," Lee Hyojin reported. The alien commander's voice now carried undertones of shock and confusion. "Human vessel, your technology is impossible. How do you interface with systems that predate galactic civilization?" Captain Jang Minho smiled as he replied, "We design our technology to adapt and learn just like we do. Perhaps your civilization forgot that innovation requires creativity, not just copying old patterns." The Starweaver continued to interface with the ancient structure, downloading knowledge that would transform human understanding of the galaxy. Star charts revealed regions of space that the Confederation had never explored. Technology blueprints showed designs that made even human innovations seem primitive by comparison. Most importantly, they discovered that humanity was not alone in their approach to technology. The ancient builders had also valued creativity, adaptability, and the fusion of art with science. Their civilization had thrived for millions of years before mysteriously disappearing, leaving behind installations like this one as gifts for those who might follow in their footsteps. As the Starweaver prepared to return to Earth with their incredible discoveries, Captain Jang Minho realized that everything had changed. Humanity was not just another species joining galactic civilization. They were the inheritors of something far older and more magnificent than anyone had imagined. The frontier had not just beckoned to them, it had welcomed them home. Admiral Kim Do-woon stood in Earth's primary command center, watching the largest fleet in galactic history approach his home system. 300 Confederation ships had assembled from across the galaxy, all identical in design and purpose. Their mission was simple: force humanity to surrender its technological secrets or face complete destruction. "Admiral, the enemy fleet will reach Earth's outer defense perimeter in 6 hours, reported Communications Officer Shin Da-yoon. Her voice remained steady despite the overwhelming odds they faced. Admiral Kim Do-woon looked at the tactical display, showing the approaching armada. Each red dot represented a warship capable of destroying entire cities. Together they possessed enough firepower to reduce Earth to lifeless rock. Yet the Admiral felt no fear, only determination. "How many ships do we have ready for combat?" he asked. Captain Lee Hyun stepped forward with the report. 47 vessels, Admiral. Every ship in our fleet is prepared for battle." The numbers were stark. 300 alien ships against 47 human vessels. By any conventional measure, Earth faced certain defeat. But human ships were far from conventional. "Signal all captains," Admiral Kim Do-woon ordered. "Today we show the galaxy what human creativity can accomplish in battle." Across Earth's orbital shipyards, human crews prepared for the fight of their lives. Each ship was unique, designed by different teams with different approaches to the EU art of war. Where the alien fleet looked like a formation of identical copies, the human fleet resembled a collection of deadly masterpieces. Commander Han Ji-ho climbed into the cockpit of his fighter, the Dragonfly. She was smaller than most ships in the fleet, but what she lacked in size she made up for in pure artistry of design. Her hull could shift and flow like liquid metal, adapting to any combat situation in real time. "All pilots, this is command," came Admiral Kim Do-woon's voice over the communication system. "Remember your training. Think like artists, not soldiers. Create beauty even in battle." The Confederation fleet entered Earth's solar system with overwhelming confidence. Their commander, Admiral Vex Molden, had conquered dozens of worlds using identical tactics. His ships would advance in standard formation, overwhelm the enemy with superior numbers, and force surrender through displays of raw power. But Admiral Vex Moldan had never faced opponents like the humans. The first human ship he encountered was the Whisper, captained by Lee Sunmi. As his lead squadron moved to intercept her, something impossible happened. The Whisper simply vanished from their sensors. "Report," Admiral Vex Molden demanded from his flagship. "Sir, the human ship has disappeared. Our sensors show empty space, where it was positioned. Impossible. Ships cannot become invisible. But even as he spoke, the whisper reappeared behind his squadron and disabled 3 ships with precision strikes before vanishing again. Captain Lee Sunmi had designed her vessel to bend light around its hull, creating true invisibility that no Confederation technology could detect. Across the battlefield, similar scenes played out as human creativity met alien conformity. The Stormcaller, commanded by Park Woo-jin, generated electrical fields that overloaded enemy sensors and weapons. The Harmony split into 7 smaller vessels that attacked from multiple directions before rejoining into a single ship. Commander Han Ji-ho and his squadron of fighters moved through the alien formation like deadly dancers. The Dragonfly twisted and spun through patterns that made tracking impossible. His wingmates flew ships that could change shape mid-flight, becoming needles for speed or expanding into shields for protection. "How are they doing this?" Admiral Vex Molden demanded, as his perfect battle plan crumbled around him. His tactical officer could only report failure after failure. "Sir, their ships violate every principle of combat engineering. They should not be able to perform these maneuvers." "Then explain how they are destroying my fleet." Engineer Park Soo-jin watched the battle from her command post aboard the flagship Eternal. She had designed many of the ships now proving themselves in combat, and each success filled her with pride. Her creations were not just winning, they were creating art in the process. "Admiral, the Phoenix is engaging multiple enemy vessels," she reported to Admiral Kim Do-woon. On the tactical display, they watched Captain Kim Se-ram's ship demonstrate why human engineering surpassed alien logic. The Phoenix absorbed enemy weapons fire into her hull, converted that energy into fuel for her own weapons, and fired back with twice the power. The alien concept of shields was rendered obsolete by a hull that turned attacks into advantages. Dr. Choi Mi-young made a crucial discovery as the battle raged. "Admiral, I am detecting something remarkable. Our ships are learning from each engagement and sharing that knowledge with the rest of the fleet." This was beyond anything the aliens had imagined. Not only were human ships individually superior, but they were becoming more effective as the battle continued. Each ship that learned a new tactic instantly shared that information with every other vessel in the fleet. Commander Han Ji-ho experienced this phenomenon firsthand when his fighter suddenly knew how to counter a new alien weapon system he had never encountered before. The knowledge had come from the Nebula's Edge, which had faced the same weapon just minutes earlier. "Command, this is incredible," he reported over the communication channel. "Our ships are thinking together like a single organism." The tide of battle turned completely when the human fleet began working together in ways that alien minds could not comprehend. Ships coordinated attacks with perfect timing, despite being separated by thousands of kilometers. Fighters wove through capital ship formations as if they were dancing to music only they could hear. Admiral Vex Molden watched in horror as his overwhelming numerical advantage became meaningless. Human ships worked together with such perfect coordination that they might as well have been controlled by a single brilliant mind. Yet he knew each vessel was independently commanded by different crews. "Sir, we have lost over half our fleet," his tactical officer reported. "Recommend immediate retreat." But Admiral Vex Molden could not retreat. The Confederation High Command had ordered him to return with either human surrender or proof of humanity's destruction. Failure was not acceptable. "All ships, converge on the human flagship. Concentrate all fire on their command vessel." 200 surviving alien ships turned toward the Eternal, Admiral Kim Do-woon's command ship. If they could destroy the human leader, perhaps the rest of the fleet would surrender. The Eternal was the largest ship in the human fleet, a masterpiece of defensive engineering designed by Park Soo-jin's most talented students. As the concentrated dino alien fire struck her hull, something beautiful and terrible happened. The ship's armor began to sing. Each impact created harmonious tones that resonated through the hull structure. The musical vibration strengthened the metal, making it harder and more resilient with every hit. The alien weapons were not damaging the Eternal, they were making her stronger. "Impossible," Admiral Vex Molden whispered as his most powerful Weapons proved useless against human artistry, but the real shock came when the Eternal began to glow. The accumulated energy from the alien attacks was being converted into a weapon system, unlike anything in galactic history. The ship had become a massive instrument of both music and war. When the Eternal fired back, her weapons sang with the same harmonic frequencies as her armor. The beam that struck the alien flagship did not explode or burn. It simply convinced the enemy ship's own systems to shut down peacefully. Admiral Vex Molden found himself aboard a disabled vessel, surrounded by human ships that had turned warfare into an art form. His overwhelming fleet had been defeated not by superior firepower, but by superior imagination. As the remaining alien ships surrendered or fled, Admiral Kim Do-woon opened a communication channel to address the galaxy. This is Admiral Kim Do-woon of the Earth Defense Forces. Today you have witnessed what happens when creativity faces conformity, when art confronts mere technology. Humanity offers friendship to all who seek peace, but we will defend ourselves against any who mistake our kindness for weakness. The battle was over, but the war for the soul of galactic civilization had just begun. Humanity had proven that 47 ships designed with love and artistry could defeat 300 vessels built from copied blueprints. The galaxy would never underestimate human creativity again. 6 months after the Great Battle at Earth, Admiral Lee Hyun stood in the newly constructed Galactic Innovation Center orbiting Mars. Through the massive viewing windows, he watched ships from dozens of different alien species arriving to study human engineering techniques. The galaxy had changed forever, and humanity now stood at the center of that transformation. "Admiral, the Zephyrian delegation has arrived," announced Communications Officer Park Min-jung. "They are requesting immediate assistance with their mining colony crisis." Admiral Lee Hyun nodded. The Zephyrians were the third alien race this week to seek human help with problems their standardized technology could not solve. A deadly asteroid storm threatened their most important mining world, and conventional Confederation ships were too rigid to navigate the chaotic debris field safely. "Send them to Engineer Park Soo-jin's workshop," he instructed. "She will design something that can dance through the storm instead of fighting against it." In her massive design studio, Park Soo-jin worked with a team that now included representatives from 12 different alien species. The sight would have been impossible just a year ago, aliens learning creativity from humans instead of the other way around. Her latest creation, the Storm Dancer, took shape on the construction platform like a living sculpture. "The key is not to resist the asteroids," she explained to her mixed audience of human and alien engineers. "Our ship will flow between them, like water flows around rocks. Beauty and function must work together always." Her alien students struggled to understand this concept. For millennia, their civilizations had built things to be strong enough to survive forces, not elegant enough to avoid them. Human thinking was revolutionary to minds trained in rigid logic. Dr. Choi Mi-young entered the workshop carrying exciting news. Her research into the ancient installations had revealed wonders beyond imagination. Human ships could now access regions of space that had been hidden from galactic civilization for millions of years. "Park Soo-jin, you must see this," she said, displaying holographic star charts. "We have discovered 17 more ancient sites. Each one contains technology that responds only to creative thinking. The old civilization left gifts throughout the galaxy, waiting for minds capable of appreciating them." The implications were staggering. Humanity had not just rediscovered lost principles of design, they had inherited the legacy of the galaxy's greatest innovators. The ancient builders had been preparing for this moment, hoping that someday another race would value art as much as science. Admiral Kim Do-woon arrived at the Innovation Center aboard the newest ship in the human fleet. The Inspiration was his personal vessel, designed to showcase everything humanity had learned about turning engineering into art. Her hull shifted through colors that had no names, and her movement through space resembled a dance more than mere transportation. "Admiral Lee, we have received the final surrender documents from the Confederation High Command," he announced as he entered the station. "They are officially dissolving their standardized technology requirements. Every member species is now free to develop original designs." This was the victory humanity had never expected to achieve. By proving that creativity surpassed conformity, they had liberated the entire galaxy from 3,000 years of technological stagnation. Alien civilizations were remembering how to innovate, and the results were already remarkable. Commander Han Ji-ho led the first mixed-species squadron of pilots through training exercises around Jupiter. Human, Zephyrian, Velcaran, and Coradian, pilots learned to fly together in ships that combined the best innovations from each culture. The rigid formation flying of the old Confederation was being replaced by fluid cooperation that resembled aerial ballet. Squadron, execute the harmony maneuver, Han Ji-ho commanded over the communication system. 12 ships of completely different designs moved together in perfect synchronization. Each vessel maintained its unique characteristics while contributing to a pattern that was greater than the sum of its parts. The alien pilots were learning that individuality and teamwork were not opposites, but partners in creating something beautiful. Scientist Yoon Hai-wan made the most important discovery of all in her laboratory deep within the Innovation Center. Her research into human consciousness had revealed why their technology worked so well with the ancient installations. The connection went deeper than anyone had imagined. Admiral Kim Do-woon, you need to see this immediately, she said, calling him to her research facility. When the Admiral arrived, Yoon Hai-wan showed him brain scans that changed everything they thought they knew about humanity's place in the galaxy. Sir, I have been studying the neural patterns of humans who interface successfully with ancient technology, she explained. What I found is remarkable. Our consciousness operates on quantum frequencies that match the ancient builders perfectly. Admiral, Kim Do-woon studied the data with growing amazement. Are you saying we are related to the ancient civilization? Not related, Yoon Hai-wan replied. We are their successors. The ancient builders designed their technology to recognize minds that think like ours. They knew their civilization would eventually fade, so they created a test. Only a species that valued creativity and beauty would be able to access their gifts. This revelation transformed everything. Humanity had not accidentally rediscovered ancient principles. They had been chosen as inheritors of the greatest technological legacy in galactic history. The ancient builders had been waiting millions of years for minds capable of understanding that true advancement came from art as much as science. Captain Jang Min-ho returned from the frontier with news that confirmed Yoon Hai-wan's theories. His exploration fleet had discovered a massive ancient complex at the galaxy's edge, and its central chamber contained a message clearly intended for humanity. The translation is incredible, he reported to the assembled leadership. The ancient builders call us their children of creativity. They knew that someday a species would emerge that understood the secret of making technology alive through imagination. The message revealed that hundreds of ancient installations waited throughout the galaxy, each one containing gifts for humanity and their students. Weapons that created rather than destroyed, engines that sang as they traveled between stars, and ships that grew more beautiful with age instead of wearing out. Engineer Park Soo-jin established the first Galactic Academy of Creative Engineering, where students from every species learned to design with their hearts as well as their minds. The rigid formulas of the old Confederation were replaced by courses in artistic inspiration and intuitive problem-solving. Remember, she told her, diverse group of students, a ship is not just a machine for moving through space. It is an expression of the dreams and hopes of those who built it. When you pour your soul into your creation, it becomes capable of miracles. Her words were proven true every day as new vessels emerged from the Academy workshops. Ships that healed themselves when damaged, fighters that anticipated their pilots' needs, and exploration vessels that discovered wonders simply by being curious about the universe around them. The transformation of galactic civilization accelerated as more species abandoned standardized designs in favor of original thinking. Trade routes became art galleries as merchants competed to build the most beautiful cargo ships. Exploration became an expression of wonder as scientists designed vessels that celebrated the joy of discovery. Admiral Lee Hyun watched from the observation deck as the newest generation of ships prepared for their maiden voyages. Human designs were now recognized throughout the galaxy as the ultimate fusion of art and technology, but they were no longer unique. Alien engineers had learned to create their own masterpieces, each reflecting the culture and dreams of their builders. Commander Han Ji-ho led a fleet of 500 ships toward the galactic frontier, each vessel a unique work of art, carrying explorers eager to discover what wonders awaited them. The rigid formations of the old Confederation had been replaced by fluid groups that moved like schools of fish through the cosmic ocean. "This is Fleet Commander Han Ji-ho to all vessels," he announced as they prepared to jump to hyperspace. "Today we take the next step in our endless journey of discovery. Remember that we carry with us not just the hopes of our own species, but the dreams of every civilization that dares to imagine something better." The fleet jumped to hyperspace in a display of light and color that would have been considered impossible under the old technological paradigms. Each ship's jump signature was unique, creating a symphony of visual beauty that announced to the universe that the age of creativity had truly begun. Back on Earth, children played with toy ships that could change shape and color according to their imaginations. The next generation was growing up in a galaxy where the impossible was merely the beginning of possibility, where every dream could become reality through the marriage of art and science. Humanity had set out to conquer the frontier, but instead, they had liberated the entire galaxy from the prison of conformity. They had proven that the greatest victories came not from forcing others to submit, but from inspiring them to exceed their own limitations. The void was no longer empty space to be crossed, but an infinite canvas waiting for the masterpieces that carry